and get started. Testing. Put it right there.
Maybe for, computer, who knows?
It looks like a school desk.
Yeah, it does.
All right, so I think since this is our first episode, we're just going to wing it. So let's go ahead and just once again, we'll say just our names, I guess, and our grade. And then we'll just get started. So this is Grace St. Paul's Youth Group monthly podcast, episode 1. And I am one of your hosts, Christian, and in something like 30th grade. And then we'll go to...
my name's Colin, and I'm in 9th grade. What was it? What else was I supposed to say?
That's it. I'm just going to do name and grade.
Alright, I'm Eric, and I'm one of the people that suggested the podcast. So I'm here, and I'm in 9th grade, so yeah.
There we go.
My name is Lily. I'm in 10th grade.
And our gracious co-host for the day.
I'm Dell, and I'm in, I don't know, I think I'm out of grades.
Yeah. Ran out of grades.
Yeah.
All right. So today, as of what day is it today? We're in
19th?
May 19th. Beautiful. We've got 1 week for some people of school. We've got 2 weeks. Some people left of classes. How are we all feeling? What are we all thinking about end of the school year?
I'm just waiting for summer.
I'm ready for summer.
I'm just thinking, okay, 3 more days till summer, 2 more days till
have
summer,
snack.
15 minutes till summer. Like
I'm just
etc.
collecting. Sky.
Counting down the days.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Eric, how you feeling?
What?
How you feeling about summer starting soon?
Bad.
Bad?
No, I'm kidding. I'm feeling good. I mean, at least I'm not gonna be alone in summer school, so
That's good. You got friends to join you?
yeah.
That's good.
You're doing acceleration, right?
Huh?
You're doing acceleration.
What do you mean?
You're not missing any credits. You're trying to gain credits.
Yeah.
I'm doing acceleration too because I don't have a PE class anymore.
And how many classes are you doing, Lily? For summer?
I'm doing 1. I could do more, but I just don't want to be there half the time.
Yeah.
For like 2 weeks, doing nothing.
I'm doing 2 weeks.
Which classes?
Nice.
It's because it's like I do have the credits, but I want to get my grade up, like to get more credits. So I'm gonna redo English in semester 1, and then biology in semester
Did
2.
you fail them? So you already have those credits.
I know, but my mom wants me to make it up for college.
Does anybody have any exciting summer plans, vacations, anything like that?
Ashley's.
I mean, I'm gonna be stuck in summer PE for like several months.
Bless you.
Whoa. Because like I was gonna have it last summer, but then it like sold out, so I wasn't able to take it then. So I'm gonna have to take it this summer.
Gotcha.
I'm not happy about it.
So sounds like to me you're all taking classes over summer.
Yep. I mean,
Not free. I have to start on the 26th.
Wow.
that's good though.
Sweet.
It's all good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get my permit next month.
There we go. You gonna start driving?
I'm gonna start
Start
driving.
studying.
Finally, I don't have to like wake up at 7:20 and get late to school.
Mm.
I'm like, like just walk into math class and just be all tired.
Yeah.
I have English honors first period.
Are you doing
so
these windows too?
not like
I was doing
this.
like these kind of like just like
Okay,
windows.
okay.
Nice.
I have finals this
I'll
week
do
though. Do you have finals this
windows.
week?
Doesn't everyone have final? Oh no.
I
Some
don't.
people do finals later, and some people do finals
The
later.
north side has it next week, doesn't it?
I
Or,
think
like,
so.
This side it has it next week.
Yeah.
East side
I think
just did
Lila
theirs
and Nate
the last
have
3
them.
weeks.
No, I think Lila's was this week.
I had,
Nate's is next
I had to do a 3-week long lab. for my final, and then I had to do a presentation. It's like a 25 staff, and then I had to take an exam for that just one class. Evil.
And then some breaking news. I'm not going to Chapel Rock.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I'm done with Chapel Rock.
You didn't have a great time going there
No.
last time? Yeah, I know some tough situations happened while you were there last summer, so that's understandable.
Sorry to hear that. Yeah.
You will be attending the summer trip, though.
Yeah,
That's exciting. It's very exciting. We'll be going to Albuquerque and Denver this trip.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah.
What are your plans in Albuquerque and Denver?
My daughter has a restaurant in Denver. You can go to.
Really?
It's called Comida,
Let me write that down.
and it's Mexican, really good
Yeah.
Mexican. It's in this really cool place called
Here, Scott Pile.
Stanley, and it has all kinds of shops and things, experiences to do.
Orange book.
So it'd be a cool place, I think, for the group to visit.
Well, here you go. Here's the fact they would match yours. There you go. Okay, just gonna put things here.
Of course, I'm surrounded by scrap paper all day, and then when I need it, there we go. I will let the podcast know we're also building a puzzle right now, so we'll send a picture of the progress we make.
Maybe.
And
If we do get it done.
if we do, whatever we get done, there will be a picture.
Ooh, good. Yeah.
I'm looking for an orange balloon. I know there's more of it somewhere. Because I only have this much.
He's got it.
No.
Look.
Yeah, I have.
Oh, you have
this.
some orange balloon?
Yeah, I have all this.
This is no uses for that orange
No,
balloon.
thanks.
Reverend Dell, do you have any other suggestions in Denver that we might have fun with? I've done some planning, but there's a lot of open space for us to fill.
There's such good hiking if you're interested.
We did a
Yeah.
lot of hiking last night.
Yeah. My daughter actually lives in Boulder,
Okay.
and there's lots of beautiful hikes up there. It's about 30 minutes away.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of, there's climbing. There's a climbing
Oh, that's a good idea.
place in Denver.
Yeah.
Not like outside rock climbing, but inside.
And indoor climbing,
mhm, yeah.
That's a great idea.
There's some.
I did.
Great.
Yeah. Have you guys ever rock climbed before, inside or outside or anything like that?
I think it'd be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I would go rock climbing outside, like that. I don't know. Did we ever go rock climbing? I don't even know.
No rock climbing, but we did go around with a lot of rocks.
Yeah, and you guys did an obstacle course
No.
one year. Yeah, rock
I
climbing.
don't know. I remember going rock climbing, but like, I don't remember.
Maybe you did it
I think it was in Chapel Rock.
Yeah.
but I have no idea.
Yeah, they do it in Chapel Rock.
This one.
That's a great idea. Yeah, indoor. We could maybe hire a
Like the
private lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing we do need to get.
I'll ask my daughter
Yeah.
if she knows.
One thing we do need to get though
Yes.
is a Polaroid.
Polaroid camera? I have one.
I have one too, but I need film.
Okay.
I have one too.
Maybe each day, one or two people can share the Polaroid. You know, so every day.
But we would have
I would
to.
bring Linus.
Yeah.
We would have to bring like a lot of film down.
I was gonna
Yeah.
bring him that on
Yeah. What was that? You're gonna bring?
on the party for Will.
Oh yes.
But then I forgot to bring it, and I was like, oh shoot.
That's okay.
But yeah, we definitely need to make a Linus. Me and Lila, I made him a sleeping bag, and like you put him in a sock for a sleeping bag.
That's funny.
He had clothes
Mm-hmm.
and like a hat, I think.
You know, we don't have a picture of this, do we? It would be
It's on the box.
Where?
Of what?
Okay, the picture of.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
duh. That would help.
Okay, so this
We're
is
just going in
the-
blind here.
Okay, so this is on the side. Got it.
Oh, I wonder if this says where it's
Oh,
at.
this is by the door. That helps.
Could play a guessing game as to where this picture was taken. My guess somewhere in Europe.
Yeah, looks like that.
Most likely.
Oh, okay. It does actually say where it is.
Looks like
All right, mini
Italy.
game. Where do we think this was taken?
France.
I'm gonna guess
Okay.
Italy, maybe.
Wait, wait, wait,
Guess.
Close. Wait.
No, Austria,
Close.
Germany,
Nope.
Switzerland.
Nope. You're getting closer.
Finland.
No, farther.
Closer to Switzerland.
I believe so.
England? No, you would know. No.
I wonder if that's a statue
That
up
was
there. I don't
that
know.
was my world.
Bulgaria?
geography. No,
What
it's,
are
it's a
the-
common one. It's a.
Oh, it's not
Spain.
France? No.
Where is
Scotland?
a map anywhere?
It looks like France, low key.
Let me
Yeah.
see. Let me try to think of a hint.
I didn't recognize you because you cut your hair.
Yeah,
Oh my
it's
gosh.
Eric.
It's hello. That's so cool.
Yes, Eric cut his hair, so he looks drastically different.
Yeah, I thought you would know for a second.
Yeah.
Then I realized like halfway. Oh yeah, that's it.
No,
Like,
it's
No,
our
it's
second
just like-
longest
Yeah.
YouTuber.
No, I've noticed it since before this, but I thought, do
No,
I
no.
say it?
A few people were confused.
Yeah.
This is good.
in fact, I've been assembling this thing upside down the whole time.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
impressive.
Didn't
Well, I can't think of
realize.
any more hints, so I'll just tell you guys. It's Poland.
Okay, Poland. We knew that.
Yeah. We'll just edit that.
Oh,
Greek sky.
Poland?
Yeah.
Sky is annoying because it's always the
Alright.
same.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Christian, let me hear about
Yeah.
your plans.
My summer plans.
Yep.
I'm booked. Right now, I'm planning the Grace St. Paul's Day Camp, which is happening June 3rd through the 6th. Lots to figure out about that, but very excited for it. The theme is strength to love, so it's using love to, power through all of our challenges in life and make connections. So doing that, and then I will be at Chapel Rock the last week of June,
Somebody has.
which is music and arts camp. Lily, you're going that week,
Yes.
right? Lily will be there. A few other people will be there. Devin, at least. And then, the summer trip.
Going.
So that's most of my plans. Might go to Hawaii.
Hawaii?
Ooh,
Yeah.
Fun.
there's
That's
ooh.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay, this is on the ground. So, see down here, it's like this on top of that blue, purple.
Also take the phone.
Yeah. So I was wondering if you all had any questions like you'd like to ask the pastor, particularly a female gay pastor who's done lots of work in foreign countries and has made a lot of mistakes and you can ask me anything. You thinking?
Yeah.
Good.
Give them a second.
Yeah.
I don't really know any questions like to ask.
Well, I guess I'll start since
Go.
I'm thinking. I'd like to hear more about your experience with, border ministry and with migrant ministry and everything you do
Thank
to
you.
help with that.
Okay, well, I'll start by saying that I think I knew since I was your age that God had something in mind for me.
Here, I will take it.
And I took a lot of wrong turns. And I finally went to Mexico with a church when I was 40. And I'd never been anywhere with people who had carried Bibles with them.
Yeah.
And oops, here's a piece on the ground. A couple, no, one piece. And I went and found out that people were pretty cool, and our pastor even what's it called? Did a moonie? A moon?
Oh.
Is that what it's called?
What is
he
that?
mooned us.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day when back in the day when
So I
that didn't get somebody fired.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And it was the final night, and he was being really silly, and it was like, oh my God, I like this group a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And He was kind of an old guy. Yeah, he mooned us, and just a little bit of
Yeah,
a moon.
yeah.
You all know what that means,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Showing your butt.
Yeah, yeah.
So, so I kept going back to Mexico. You know, I didn't know any Spanish, but I felt alive there. And I worked with some women's cooperatives and didn't have much Spanish. I just kept going back, and I went back on a couple of more what are called delegations or mission trips. And there was one trip where I'd been on a few trips, and so the pastor said, Dell can probably stay. We had homestays. And he said, Dell can probably stay in one of the harder, more challenging homestays. So they put me in a cave with a woman and her pig and her son. And I slept, well, so it's 3 walls of a cave, and then it had kind of a makeshift, and we were building a house for her with habitat.
Yeah.
So I slept on the pig's bed and the sow, and so she stood over the bed really, like, not happy with me, and it was really hard to sleep.
Yeah.
And her son, who had sniffed glue, which is what a lot of poor kids do there, to get out from underneath the poverty. And so he kept climbing in bed with me and wanting me to tell him a story. But he was like 16. So I finally told my pastor that I felt like I couldn't stay there. But it taught me something about what people live with, and in building the house with her in those days with habitat, like we had old rebar, that, you know, that stuff that does you know what rebar is? Those kind of, it's like
Poles?
Yeah, they're poles, but they're like iron.
Yeah.
And they were bent, and we'd have to straighten them, and we'd have to saw them with this regular saw. It was ridiculous. We mixed cement by hand. I don't know, have you ever been on a mission trip like that where you like really worked your butts off?
Yeah.
And I was on the back of a flatbed truck with my pastor, and I was dirty and I was exhausted. Oh, one other story. So they put me in another homestay with a family, and I got, diarrhea, which a lot of people get from whatever, or got. And I go out into the outhouse, and the rooster was in the outhouse. And I was scared to death of this rooster. It was really mean. And so was it like, okay, I'm going to have an accident, or I'm going to fight this rooster for the outhouse? And I just started going, bah, 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 bah. And he fled.
Yeah.
And I got to do my thing. And I took some Pepto-Bismol, and the next day I woke up and my tongue was black, and I thought I had cancer. And I was just crying. I went to my pastor and I said, I think I have cancer. And he said, that's what Pepto-Bismol does to your tongue. So I was like, okay. But anyway, I was standing on the back of the flatbed truck with a black tongue, and after not sleeping well, and I said, I feel so alive. And he said, follow that. So I think what I want to say to you is, when you feel alive, really alive, follow that. And it might not be what your parents want you to do, or it might not be, like I think about the students protesting right now. A lot of their parents are saying, don't do that, you could be kicked out of school or whatever. Follow your passion and your joy. And so I would just take the next right step. Like I never said, I'm going to be a missionary in Mexico, or I'm going to go to seminary, or I'm going to be a pastor at Grace St. Paul's. I just said, I'm going to take the next right step. Like for you, Eric, it's going to summer school, and you each have your next right step. It's Colin, you got baptized today. That was your next right
Not
step.
today. That it was last week. Or something.
Last week? Was it last week?
Yeah.
Okay. And
Or was it the week? Yeah. Before.
I missed it. I was sorry I missed it. But anyway, and then if God meets you there, what I call it divine presence, because I don't really know what God is. I just know it's not me, and it has something to do with community. Then I could take the next right step. And each time I did, I never had any idea, like this puzzle about how the pieces fit together. But at 73 now, I see, like there were years I lived in New York City, and I I took all these acting classes and I auditioned for commercials and soap operas, and I got some. I was a not working actor, not working very much actor. I had no idea that would come in handy when I preach, that I could actually breathe and be present and look at people and say words and respond as I saw them. You know, it's so sometimes the pieces won't feel like they fit together, but it'll feel like your next right step. Yeah. I taught my stepdaughter how to sew when she was probably 4 or 5. She is now she's 20, and she is a designer of clothing and is modeling.
Wow.
And she went far away from that for a while. I've lost contact with her because my wife and I got a divorce, but I've seen her on Facebook, and I've seen her page, her model page, and it's like, oh my gosh, that little seed planted. So I don't know. Have you had seeds planted in you that you've noticed, or like, I liked that?
Yeah.
Good job.
Eric, when did baseball become so prevalent to you?
I mean, it's always been. I mean, I think the time that I actually put in the time to think about that I wanted that to be my career is when my grandfather from Mexico was like, the last pitch that I'm gonna throw is to you, and he said that to me when I was over there, and I haven't seen him for since COVID happened, so I haven't seen him.
Oh, where is he in Mexico?
He's in Mexico.
Whereabouts? Do you know?
In Veracruz.
Veracruz. Okay.
And I guess so in December we're gonna go get you guys, or we're gonna go get the church a baptized Virgen de Guadalupe for a present for you guys. But I think that's gonna be his final pitch, and he's gonna step away from baseball.
Oh, he's a baseball player, a professional baseball player. Cool. What's his team?
He played he's not professional.
okay.
He just plays right there in the town.
Oh, that's so
But
cool.
there's a lot of scouts down there, so yeah. I think the time that I realized that I really wanted to be a baseball player is when he told me that.
Yeah.
When he told me, I'm gonna throw the last pitch to you, and that's when I'm gonna step away from it.
Wow.
I think from there I got motivated.
Yeah.
My dad over there got. I mean, my dad was extraordinary. I can't really describe him, but he's gotten he's been 3 times batting champ over there in the little hometown that he's been. He played third base, first
Your
base.
granddad or your dad?
My dad.
Okay.
And my granddad was a pitcher, but he also knows how to hit.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So it's in the blood.
So he's like a Mexican show your time, basically.
That's so cool. Y habla español. Yeah. Ay, that's wonderful.
I mean,
It's really special.
yeah, and we've been once I go over there, I'm gonna get my papers, Mexican papers, so I can buy land, buy cars.
Oh, because you have dual citizenship.
Yeah.
So you're going in December?
December.
Okay, that is so cool.
That's gonna be what my mom wanted to do was, because we haven't told my parents. I mean the people down there, my tios and tias over there. We haven't told them yet. It's gonna be a surprise for them. That's gonna be their Christmas present from them. We're gonna go down there because they haven't seen us in about 4 or 5 years.
Wow.
So it's been a long time.
Yeah.
And I miss it down there.
I
miss
know,
it.
I miss it too.
It's beautiful. I'm gonna be honest. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
It's a whole different world, isn't it? Yeah. That's so cool.
Everyone how can I say it? Everyone minds their own business, but to the point where I don't know, it's peaceful.
Yeah.
And it's people laugh a lot and dance and
people will invite you to dance even though they don't know you.
Yeah.
They're not scared to how can I say it? They're humble.
Yeah.
They're not scared to tell you, hey, you wanna go dance or something.
Yeah. Wow. I've been to a lot of quinceañeras and other, parties like that, and every time it's just biggest
Should
blast
not help you
in the
there.
world. Just everyone having such a good time, smiling, and at your quinceañera.
Somebody's always drunk.
Yeah, so someone's always gonna be
Yeah.
drunk.
Yep.
There's gonna be the drunk uncle.
Mm-hmm.
Do you go to balnearios?
Huh?
Do you know what balnearios? It's like a place to swim and also like wonderful,
Usually, what
you got the
what me and-
beach.
Usually, what me and my brother do is that we get all our cousins up. Doesn't matter what age they are. We just gather them up, and we go exploring. Like even though they've already explored over there, we go exploring. We have like a lot of fun times.
So great.
And like right behind my deal's house, there's like a red river. Like a bloody river.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
Wow.
bloody river in the back.
Oh my gosh.
So we haven't explored that yet,
Yeah.
but we've always seen it from
Yep.
a distance.
Something like
So
that.
like we always wanted to go explore it. So
Yeah.
I don't know if we're gonna do it this year.
Be careful.
And then this year I have I don't know. I can do a lot more things since I'm 15. That's
Yeah.
basically it.
What are you asking, Paul?
Well, I'm excited.
No, you're okay.
I think I'll look at a couple of those. I'm trying to figure out if there's one that a couple that go right here.
To his door.
So what about you all? What about what do you think you love?
Mm-hmm.
What lights your fire?
Yeah.
Being Pentecostal.
What blows wind in your sails? You're so focused on that puzzle.
Can I ask you, you got one? You got something? Yes, you do. I can see.
Well, you do a lot at your school.
We do a lot everywhere.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Like I like doing the service projects and like doing service. I did chicks and chaps and the
Chicks and chaps.
the breast cancer awareness event thing.
That's great.
It was early in the morning. It was like 6.
Hmm.
We had to be there by 6, but it was at the rodeo grounds, and we live on the east side, so we had to get up at like 4 in the friggin' morning to get there.
Whoa.
So, yeah, we did that, and I worked at the event basically for like a few hours. I think it was like 6, 7 hours. But we were there till like the sun was up. Yeah, but I always like doing that kind of stuff, and I'm gonna do the JTED, the Healthcare Foundation's JTED.
So something about healthcare.
Yeah, something about
Yeah.
like, I kind of like emergency medicine, but like, so I could, for my second year of JTED, I could do either the medical assistant or the EMT. But I like emergency kind of stuff, but I'm still kind of thinking about what I'm gonna do.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, that's cool.
bad for me. I had to wait until 11 to do because in Sunnyside they have auto shop, but I don't want to move to Sunnyside. So I'm gonna wait until 11th.
To go to Sunnyside?
No, to go into JTED because they have the auto shop. And then I can also do the
diesel mechanics at my school.
and then I can also do the to be a therapist too. So because that's what I'm also interested in.
Therapy?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
So
mental
I'm
health
a
profession or physical?
Like psychology or
mental health.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh, there's a
Mental
huge
health
need for that. That's for
programs
sure.
too.
So what I'm gonna do because both of them take 1 year to do.
Yeah.
1 year. So I'm gonna do auto shop in 11th, and then senior year I'm gonna do the therapist one.
But
That's
the
awesome.
medical assistants and like all the medical pathways do need prior requisite to it, so you might have to take the healthcare foundations that I
Oh,
am.
cool.
And
That's so exciting. When I took psychology in nursing school, I went to nursing school. I identified with every single mental illness. I've got a little bit of that in me,
Yeah.
you know. Not like the serious mental illnesses, but it was just fascinating. It still fascinates me, and that's a lot of what I do in spiritual direction with people is try to help them. I call it soul coaching, help them figure out what brings them joy and how to connect with their passion. And Yeah, so that's very cool. What about you, Colin?
Like, what brings me joy?
Yeah, what brings you joy? What do you feel like when you think about the future?
I guess just I enjoy like helping people. Like there's just someone like needs help. Like I can't say no like questions like regarding different things like helping them solve problems. I guess. Not very good with it though.
Well, not yet. It takes some time, but we've got a theme going here.
Yeah. Yep. Seems like a room full of helpers to me.
Yeah. Seems like some good colleagues in the future. What do you think? There's a whole lot of talk about Israel, Hamas, Israel, Gaza, and the students in college and professors are protesting. What do you think about all that?
Well, I feel that I think I don't know. It's like I think a pretty complex issue. Like I of course like do feel bad for like the people like in like Gaza that have been essentially massacred by Israel, but I also feel bad for the people that were killed on Hamas's attack, because like most of the like bad guys in that conflict are like in the governments, like but like all those people out of the actual fighting and are just essentially getting like their own citizens killed to pass their own interests.
Yep. That's very interesting, your analysis, and I think what I saw when I went to a city council meeting and there was the self-proclaimed Zionist Jews, which is a sort of a right wing, and that's Netanyahu's government. And then the pro-Palestinian they were so hurt and so angry that they couldn't see each other, right? And it is a very complex situation. A lot of money, money is involved, big time. And we're supporting one side while our students are crying out against genocide. I don't know. What about you all? What do you think?
Like, in the school sense, like, I feel like there's better ways to get your point across than taking over a building. But at the same time, people have the right to protest and the right to, like, say what they mean, but you don't, like, there's better ways to do it than disrupting people's educations and, like, taking over a building. And there's a way to peacefully protest without doing that.
Yeah.
In that sense, but also in like the sense of the war, I think honestly, all the people are mad about things that happened so long ago.
Like 2,000 years ago.
Like,
really.
People need to like think about like why we're even fighting.
Yeah.
Because things that happen that you're fighting over are like long past.
I think like as well.
Instead of focusing on the ways like you guys hate each other or something, you can make it what's that word? Like compromise.
I think that a like big issue for that like thing isn't so much like religious stuff as it is like a lot of like a lot of like nationalism kind of.
It is nationalism.
Like where the Palestinians want like all of like what they are specified by the Palestinian mandate to be like property of Palestine, whereas like the Zionist part of Israel like essentially wants to force them all out into like either into Egypt or to massacre them.
Yeah, and the treatment of what strikes me is that Israel, their story is oppressed people in the Holocaust, and a lot of Israelis are against what's happening in Gaza and in the West Bank. They want to live together peacefully, and it seems like it's way beyond that. I mean, when people are crushed that way so deliberately, I don't know how many, it was 35,000 or something the last I heard in Gaza, and how many are dying of starvation, sickness, injuries. I don't know, but so often the oppressed becomes the oppressor, right? the inability, and that's our story too as the U.S.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what we did after 9/11, you know. We went and crushed Iraq. So I don't know. I have a friend who's a clergy person. She's a pastor, United Church of Christ pastor. And she works with students. So she went to Harvard, and she went to Columbia, and she went to University of Minnesota. And she said what she sees is not what the press is reporting, that what she sees are like arts and crafts and tents for people who need to rest and people singing and dancing and holding the line, but there are paid instigators, right?
Yeah, I've heard that. I think a lot of that is also people kind of see what they want to see as
Exactly.
well. Like if like people like won't pay attention like so much to like everyone to say all the like Jewish students that are part of the protests as they will some crazy guy in a street corner screaming like Nazi slogans.
Basically like propaganda. It's been through
absolutely.
It's been here through all the years, through it. Like everything. Russia has used propaganda. Germany has used propaganda.
U.S. does. I mean,
US,
about, you know.
US used propaganda. Everyone wanted to get rid of propaganda. When we were the only one, like the only superpower left, we wanted to get rid of it, but then we brought it back somehow.
Yeah. Well, because when it was their propaganda, it didn't benefit us, right? And now
It's benefiting like us, just us.
And now it's called fake news or,
Mm-hmm.
on both sides. I was just talking to my daughter. We had a little bit of a dust up the other day because I'm supporting Biden and she's supporting Robert Kennedy. And I know. And
he's not even in the running.
well, he's not yet, but he's got a huge following. He's kind of like Bernie Sanders. Just hear me out. I disagreed with her, and they're having a rally next to her restaurant in this big event space, and she's going. And she had told me months ago that she was interested in Robert Kennedy, and I went, what?
Yeah.
And so she said, just listen to this 2-hour podcast. I did, and I was impressed with what he said, and I'm still curious about a lot of things about him, why his family doesn't support him. Well, there's a new documentary by Woody Harrelson narrates it, and there's Kennedy standing with 150 members of his extended family, right?
Wow.
And he wants to take on big business, which is not a popular thing. Biden's not going to do that. Anyway, the venue is sold out. The parking lot nobody can get into, so there's something happening there. And so she just sent me this documentary, and I'll watch it because I want to have a conversation with her. I don't want to just shut her out, which makes her mad, you know. And she's 53. She's not, a young adult. But I'm hearing from that age group real discontent for Biden about the support for Israel, right, and the war. So I don't know. I just want to learn how to, lower the temperature in the room, figure out how to get people to talk with each other instead of at each other,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that's the biggest problem. Arguing's the biggest problem that we have.
Especially with,
reactivity too. Like I said she said something about Kennedy, and I said, well, I'm terrified about Trump as a candidate. And she said, well, I'm equally terrified about Trump and Biden. And I said, wow. And she heard me say, whoa. And so she reacted to whoa. And it wasn't until the next day that she came back and she said, you know what, Mom? You said what? Wow. You didn't say whoa. So, gosh, it's just like a minefield, trying to talk about stuff.
Absolutely. It was really hard for me understanding years ago like how Trump could have even got elected, and understanding how the way people think, and the way that like how he could resonate with people. And it took someone explaining to me that he's played the character of, of saving the middle class like perfectly.
He's a populist.
Yeah.
That's
He's inspiring people that they feel they can do the same thing he did. They want, because they want to get out of their low income wage living, and they want to, have a comfortable life, and they saw him doing that, and so understanding that and understanding these people just want comfortable lives and to feel secure and to, feel safe. It helps understand it, even if it's we completely disagree and we completely don't see eye to eye on that. It just having that understanding can help create a foot in the door, right?
Yep.
And I think that's really important. Is even if we completely disagree, seeing their perspective is it's just necessary.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if you all ever heard me talk about when I drove for Uber. So with the pandemic, I was so frustrated that I couldn't do ministry in any way other than on Zoom.
Yeah.
And so I drove for Uber for 3 months, and it was right before the election and after the election, Biden, Trump. And I wanted to be in a place where I couldn't argue with people. So as an Uber driver, you have to listen.
Yeah.
And sort of ask reflective questions. Yeah. And I had my mind blown on a lot of stereotypes that I feel like I'm pretty cool and I don't have stereotypes. Well, I do.
Yeah.
And right.
Yes.
And so this guy gets in my car, and he has a torn T-shirt and a tattoo that says "White Power." And he's got on like satin, those real boxers shorts, right? And I'm like, whoa, okay. And he had a big bag, and so he gets in my back seat, and because they had to ride in the back seat back in the days of pandemic. And I said, "How's your day?" And he said, "Well, I just had a court appearance on Zoom. I was accused of what was it? Of a hate crime. I called someone the N-word." And he said and there was some violence in the house where he lived, and he walked outside and the police were there, and one of his housemates was black, and he called her that, and they arrested him.
Yeah.
And I couldn't leap on him, and I said, "Well, can you say more about that? That's such a good question to ask." And I said, "So what is the white power thing for you?" And he said, his mother was killed in front of him when he was 8 years old, beaten to death. And he was in foster homes his whole life, and until he got to be an adult. And he was abused. And he said the white power movement, the white nationalists, are the only people where he felt at home. And he said, "I don't agree with everything they say or do." And but he said, that's been my home for me. And I was like, so I'm taking him to this place, and he says, and he wasn't justifying himself, he's just I don't think he had ever told a story to anybody before.
Wow.
I don't think anybody had ever asked, right?
Yeah.
And I certainly wouldn't have asked him if I'd seen him at a rally or something. But so I'm getting ready to drop him off, and he said, "You see that heart-shaped red rock over there?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "My girlfriend got shot in the head there." It's like, oh my God. So I don't know. I came away from that thinking he's hurt, and he's vulnerable, and would I feel safe with him? No, thank you. That's great. So anyway, I was so appreciative of being in that place, and right after that I got back to arguing with people pretty quickly.
At least having that experience.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
And I think as people of faith, we have to try to find ways to talk across difference, to lower the temperature in the room.
Yeah.
Say, can you say more about that instead of rawr?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
That Jesus love. unconditional.
Oh my God, it's so hard.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then you do what he did and you listen and you don't close your heart, and it doesn't become easy, but it's, you know, you at least understand people a little more.
Yep. And you guys in school, man, where, you know, you kind of have to worry about, is this the... I mean, people talk about each other, and
Yeah.
I just worked with some 23-year-old Jesuit volunteers, spiritual direction, with their retreat, and they were so self-conscious about speaking in the group. I mean, like, they had housemates and stuff in the group,
Yeah.
but so one of the presenters, I was one of the presenters at one point, would ask a question, and they would look around like, you know, it'd take about 8 minutes before anybody spoke, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I asked the people, the 3 women that I did spiritual direction with, I said, it seems to me there's a lot of self-consciousness. And she said, oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, you know, people are quick to judge.
Yeah.
Do you find that? Yeah.
You know, like, that's what some things about, like, people I know, like, I feel like I listen to them talk and I'm like, whoa. Like, younger people, I was like, you need, like, learn to, like, bring it down. Because when you get up to high school and you get up to there, you say something like that, and you're gonna get yourself in a lot of trouble.
Wow, that's great. That's great advice.
Like, you need to learn how to just shut your mouth.
Mm.
How do they respond to it when you say that kind of thing?
Yeah, that's what they say. But
Yeah.
they're young, and I'm like, okay, so.
But, yeah.
Like, I'm sure Eric and Colin, you guys have had to learn that sometimes you don't say something at all. From middle school to high school, you can get away with more in middle school. And then when you get to high school, you're done.
Because in middle school you get like warnings and all that. But once you make it to high school, there's no warnings. You'll automatically get it. I feel like.
Do you have the bracket policies? Like, what level 1 violation, level 2 violation, level 3 violation?
Mine is just like, if you do something bad, it's either you, like, if it's not that bad, then you'll go off with no warning. But like, if it's like bad, like super bad, then you'll get suspended. But if it's like middle, you'll get suspended too. But for like less time. So
even like social things, like sometimes like in middle school and lower education, you're like, you get away with saying things, like in like the 5th grade, for example, like I hear things like, oh my gosh, if you said that going into high school, like they teach you to speak your mind and da 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 da. I'm like, you do not do that in high school. If you do that in high school, you're gonna get mean girls and you're gonna get people who do not like you very much.
Wow.
And you're gonna get jumped or something.
Yeah, wow. That's intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've just recently heard about someone at Santa Rita. They're getting like, someone at Santa Rita got jumped. She jumped one person, like 5 people were planning, and like it was crazy.
There was a transgender one young, like 13, 14, 15-year-old recently who died
Yes.
after being jumped
Yeah.
in the bathroom.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a push-pull in the bathroom. It sounds like,
Yeah.
you know, she threw water in somebody's face and, you know, I don't know, but it exacerbated really fast.
Yeah.
And she ended up dying from her injuries. Yeah.
Things can get like really bad like very quickly.
Yeah.
Especially when you don't have you need to learn to gather yourself in a way that you can express your ideas but not say things that's just appalling
Yeah.
in the middle of somewhere where you really should not,
Yep.
like, at all. So making that like switch into, oh, it'll just be oh, they'll be mad at me for a little bit, or oh, they'll be offended, to oh no, this might actually get me hurt.
Exactly.
It's a whole different story.
Well, and
Yeah.
it's like even driving, if you pull past somebody, you honk, you can, these days, it can escalate really quickly, road rage.
Yeah. I mean, I would say the best advice for high school is just mind your own business. Like,
Yeah.
you don't
You
talk.
don't go asking when
don't
you
go-
don't
yeah.
want to know.
You just mind your own business. You don't mess with anyone.
Don't be a tattletale unless something's really
Yes.
bad happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, you see someone smoking in the bathroom. You don't go
That-
tell
that's
on
a-
them. Or
that's
you
a-
will get,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
harassed.
That's a normal everyday thing.
Yeah.
So,
If you hear someone about, oh, I'm going to go beat up this guy, you don't say anything because it's usually just talk.
yeah, it is
Uh-huh.
just talk.
Like, the only things you should, go and tell someone about is, serious things.
Yeah.
Because you
I've got a
never
gun,
know.
or
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you'll get
Interesting
harassed and called a snitch for the
Mhm.
rest of your high school career. And that will also get you targeted a little bit.
Yeah.
So you just stay out of people's way and they'll stay out of yours.
Yeah. I mean, I've befriended, I'm gonna be honest, I've befriended everyone. But, everyone knew me, but, everyone's not gonna know me anyway. Because of my hair. I was
Who's the new
basically,
kid?
not a popular kid, but I was, the kid that everyone knew, but never talked to. I was basically
Huh,
that kid.
cool.
It's a good space. to be
Everyone
in.
knew me, but I would help people out and all that, and I would mind my business. If they would come up to me and tell me something, I would mind my business. I wouldn't snitch. I wouldn't do anything.
I'm homework help.
How about you, Colin? What's your
Yeah.
experience of, I don't know.
High school?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What do you think of it? First year.
It's actually been a bit less stressful than in middle school, surprisingly. There's
That's good.
maybe last year was in middle school. There was it was actually way more difficult than it was in high school so far this year, surprisingly.
School wise, people wise, just everything.
Well, just school wise,
Yeah.
academically,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a lot of
I think
more time to do the work, a bit less. I don't know. The term is frantic, I guess.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Stressful. I don't know.
Well, that's good.
here's the top of your house.
It's full of delinquents
Ooh,
though.
What was
thank
that?
you.
It's full of delinquents though. Did I already tell you about my Spanish
And
class?
I don't think you have.
Okay, basically my Spanish class is just full of delinquents.
Mm.
Me too. Me
Oh,
too.
What's
Oh,
going
is it
on?
the last class of the day for you as well?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the
Second
last
class.
class of the day is almost always chaotic, I think. But it's stuff for instance, on one day, for instance, the teacher was out of the room because he needed to do something called oral testing where he has a conversation back and forth with the kid to figure out how much they've learned about Spanish.
Yeah.
And while he was out, some kid dragged a desk into the middle of the room and started vaulting over it.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
And then one of them did the splits, and then they stopped doing that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, my Spanish class is nuts too. They are psychotic. I mean, they will go and argue with the teacher, and the people will ask to go to the bathroom, and Mr. Collins will be like, no, because I know you're not actually going to go to the bathroom. It's like, well, I put my period, and da-da-da-da. And I'm she said some gnarly things about that, and I'm like, okay, that's gross, but okay. And also they're so mean, and
Yeah.
this girl 2 days ago, straight up they were boxing with each other because they were trying to be funny or something, I guess. And then girl actually hits the girl in the other girl in the nose, and blood.
Oh, goodness.
And then the other girl runs to the bathroom or runs to the nurse's office, and Colby doesn't even know until someone tells him.
Yeah.
But also, they're psychotic in the ways they don't do anything. They scream, they yell. They broke a window 2 days ago too.
Ooh, that's kind of scary.
Yeah,
I mean,
And,
it's pretty scary.
They were also watching cats get blended in the blender.
What the hell?
Yeah.
On the
Yeah.
videos?
That.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah, you heard it in the background. It was gnarly.
Oh yeah.
It was gnarly.
it doesn't go away.
It was
And
not.
once you hear it, you know,
Yeah.
it's. Ooh,
That
that's
is-
that.
What happened to
I'm
those
gonna
kids?
say
Did
it's
they
not
get
the-
sent to the
it's-
office?
It's not the worst experience.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
But also, like teachers, I've had teachers this year who are inherently like kind of racist.
Yeah.
Like
Of course.
he
Yep.
asks me about like, oh, where my last name is from, and I tell him, he's like, oh, my mom. But he's like, oh, you don't look all the way pure. Da, 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 da. I'm like, okay, but I tell him, oh, I'm Korean. He's like, what? And I'm like, okay. So since then, he's like leaned heavily in on the yellow comments.
Oh gosh.
Like, he'll be like,
I'm gonna lose it.
someone will ask him to play like Black and Yellow, the song, and he's like, is it about black people and yellow people?
Whoa. That's.
I'm like, whoa.
That's objectionable.
We have
yeah.
Afghani kids in our
Could we turn off the overhead fan? I think I'm
yeah, we
doing
have
a bit
Afghani
allergic
kids in our
reaction.
school,
Oh,
and he keeps saying how Afghanis beat their children and
Oh,
stuff
you
like
have to
that.
turn the
And
light
I'm
off
like,
at the same
oh
time.
my gosh.
Sorry.
He like leans heavily in on
That's
the
just
I'm an
finish him off with human
Afghani
being, then.
and the yellow comments and the black
Thank you.
comments.
Thank you.
I'm like, okay.
Oh my
Like,
goodness.
a
Thanks so
kid
much.
had a wand, like a Chinese wand, but like he asked him if he had yellow fever.
That's punishable offense. That is a punishable
I
offense.
hope it is.
Oh
And
my
he's
god.
like, he's a decent Spanish teacher, but he's just inherently racist sometimes.
So, yeah, but still, I mean, we have to be called on our racism. I think that's, and students aren't in a place to do that.
Exactly.
There's a power differential there that, you know.
Yeah, but this teacher was inherently racist.
Yep.
And it was like, whoa.
Yep.
Because, like, he would say things like, oh, you gotta go get a Latina girlfriend or something. I'm like, okay, cool, you. But, like, he kept saying things and saying things.
Has anybody brought this up to the principal or to?
It doesn't matter. It's 4 days till end. He's a permanent sub.
I think this one.
Yeah.
So he won't be returning next year.
I don't know.
But still, maybe
I think
after
this one goes right here.
after school is out.
Anyway, though.
I think that's, I mean, and it's hard to get subs, so, but that's no excuse. I mean,
Yeah.
and even when I was getting my doctorate, one of my African American colleagues, another student, was going to write his dissertation on black anger and church. And our professor, who was accompanying us in the process, every time we'd have a meeting on Zoom, he'd say to this guy, "Did you bring a gun?" I mean, really? Yes, he did. And I complained, and he was a tenured professor, sort of put out to pasture to go through our doctorate with us, and they,
Can't open notice the was right there.
huh?
Can't open notice the was right there.
Yeah. I mean, just, yeah. It's
one
so
of the
it's a real thing,
Yeah.
and sexism, mansplaining. I mean, it happens in our church.
I do not. I hate that's like one of my biggest pet peeves ever.
Yeah.
Like when people I ask to help and they just go and they ask the guy.
Or it
I'm
can be
like,
white splaining,
I do
right?
not.
Too. Yeah.
Like and then struggling of someone else to do it when I could have done it. Just because it was a guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's so annoying and I hate it.
Yep.
Like I've had it happen everywhere still. It's like we're in the 21st century, especially with older people. Like I'll be doing something, I'll like have sometimes around like I'll be like maybe carrying Devin or something. They'll be like, "Are you okay?
Oh gosh.
Are you okay? Do you need help or something?"
I think part of that is also
I
like
hate
about.
that. I'm holding it. I'm carrying it, and I'm like, do you need help? And like, there's 3 people over there carrying one thing.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's also partially like outdated cultural stuff where they like think that they're helping.
It's
like, and it's harder.
chauvinistic.
It's harder
Yeah,
to change
it's
that
chauvinistic.
because they don't realize.
So much. It's like one of my biggest pet peeves, like ever, is when people go and they ask the guy to do it instead. I literally
Yeah.
ask, "Hey, can I help with that?" Or "Do you need help
Yeah.
with that?" And they go, "No, I'm going to ask them over there." I'm like, I think my grandma's kind of in this too. She's like, because you've seen my brother. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. My grandma was telling me stories about like how we had to haul the paper for the shredder party. The shredder party.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, it was something she was doing where she was going to shred documents
Oh yeah.
in this big old shredder.
Yeah.
She was
That's a
very
fun
excited
day.
about this shredder party.
My grandma
but,
loves Shredder Day too.
Yeah, so
Wow, we're getting
it's
lots
like,
of
oh, have Devin haul those papers out of the car and
Good job,
put
Colin.
haul
You're
those
good at
papers
this.
out,
Yeah, that's
and
right.
I'll take them out for you, and I'll put them in the shredder. It's like, oh, he will. I'll just have Lily do it. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
because my brother is a couch potato.
And I've walked in, like I walked to Cox one time and I had my clergy collar on, and it's black and it's clear that, and I walked in as a woman, and I got there first, and a guy comes in after me, and it's clearly, and the person said to the guy, "Can I help you?" And I said, "What, am I invisible?" And then I feel badly for saying that kind of thing, but it's like, oof.
Yeah. It's frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I hate it so much.
Yeah, well, I mean,
It's
and so I think
annoying.
what I have had to do is learn how to not just chop someone up for doing that, but ask a question about, I'm curious about why you said that, to get them to help to think about it.
But I think that also makes them uncomfortable.
Of course, yes, it does.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like, I was talking to someone recently, and he's like, oh, that's a man's job. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Wow.
But sometimes
Older people.
making people uncomfortable is a good thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I've had people of color. I've had people who differences that from me who've called me on things and been like, "Oh my God, I can't believe." Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, toxic masculinity is annoying because I've had people
is.
in my family that are like,
This was
on my last nerve, as most of you know, my lovely sister.
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't know any of
Annoying.
this. Yeah,
It's
but
annoying.
is it?
I hate being like passed up on things and that I can't do it because I can probably do it. The reason why I'm asking is because I think you guys need help.
Right.
Not because I think I'm just trying to like.
Well, there are joy killers, definitely in the world, and I've had people. Just because I'm a joyful Christian, mostly, I mean, want to take me out because that's annoying to them, or it's strategies for survival. Sounds like you've got some good ones. So it's a real thing, and it's really good to hang out with people that you can talk about it with.
Exactly.
Yep.
And having those skills to approach conflict in an unhealthy way are
Yeah.
very, very important.
I heard some. I didn't hear what you said at first. I heard like I don't have any skills at all.
That's what I heard.
That.
That's what I heard too. And then I was like, okay, got that one wrong.
Oh, yeah. Everyone is very skilled here. Having skills.
Like what? But like.
Does anyone have any other questions? We've got about 10 minutes left for our podcast. Do we want to ask Reverend Dell anything else, and anything that came up for you that you want to talk about?
Thank you.
I hate doing skies. So
Skies are the hardest parts of puzzles.
So, I have a question.
Okay.
So you've been through like a lot, basically. But like, I feel like, and part of your life, I feel like you at one point you're gonna feel like you've given enough. So like, when have you like given enough, or like when do you feel like you're gonna give enough?
Oh, that's a really good question because cycles are like 5-year cycles for work. So when I came to Tucson to take over Borderlinks from the very charismatic male leader whose father and best friends worked for the organization and still had their fingers in it, it was an uphill haul that I was really committed to. But after 5 years,
thanks.
I knew that it was time for me to stop and turn it over. And when I was in Mexico, so I was there for 8 years, I kept having this sense that my mother was close to dying and my daughter was pretty angry with me for being out of the country. I mean, she could come and see me and I came to see her, but she's my only child. And I had to say, it's time. There is a time that I didn't stop when I should have, and that was with my last church. I had a little group that was after me from the beginning because I was the first woman and the first gay woman. And they just wore me down on everything. It was a little tiny group and I was really loved by my congregation. And I self-sabotaged. No one ever said to me, we can see that you're in trouble here. Can we help? Yeah. So, and I'm not sorry because that was an epic fail for me. I loved my church and I was very loved by my church, and it ended. I left because it was just untenable. But I think having communities of accountability who say, boy, you really seem worn out, or boy, you really seem irritated, or whatever, and listening to them and knowing how to, I always say balance isn't like being perfectly balanced all the time. It's really having passionate both ends, passion and shutdown, but passing center and knowing how to get back to it. So our director at Casalitas has just left his position. He quit and then he was let go. And it was his baby. He started it in 2014 when he was still in college, Diego Peña Lopez. And it has crushed him. The passion, the work, he never stopped working, right? It killed relationships. It had to end abruptly for him to get out. And I just talked to him this morning and I said, you will be well from this. So remember, when you have epic fails, you have people who love you and you will be loved and God will pick you up and help you get to the next right step. It's not over, So I'm entering a time now where I'm feeling called to some different direction, and what that feels like to me is I want to pull in. I want to meditate and be at home and be with my dogs, and I don't have bandwidth for just chatting and or for big church like this morning. I mean, I'll admit I'm not leaving Grace St. Paul's at all. Mm-hmm. And I'm wanting to go maybe in smaller circles to have deeper conversations. So that's why I do this second Thursday of listening, and people get to speak out of some silence. I want to be in spaces where we do church differently. Mm-hmm. And I get to do that because I do a lot of that online, and I do that and I'm teaching exercise classes right now because at the Racket Club.
Wow.
Right, because I want different audiences, and you can instill principles of being centered, being kind, being loving, being balanced in anything you do, right? By showing it. Evangelism is by showing it, right? So I'm not sure where it'll take me, and I'm a little uncomfortable. Like, is it this or is it this? I just feel a shift happening, maybe to some, I don't know. Yeah. The whole Israel-Gaza thing and the deeper conversations around difference and the elections is at least calling me to help people find a place to breathe and hold the space and
Basically to call them.
yes, to chat, to if the only thing we can do when there's contention in the room is hold the space and breathe and be a non-anxious presence, that matters. And each of you has that gift. I see it in you. So, Colin, you do too, right? You have that gift. And that is so, just be in the room sometimes. Like, and when you had hair, like you could be in the room and people couldn't really see how you were reacting, right? And you can do that in a way. But when I was sitting next to this guy in the retreat that I did this last week. He's a leader, but he was sobbing as he was reading his piece because he said, I'm completely undone by this retreat. I mean, he's like a 68-year-old man. And I just sat next to him and breathed. And he got calmer. And eventually I kind of turned to him, but I never looked at him. And I just thought, only job here is to breathe. And he got through it, And he said to me afterwards, what did you do? And I said, I just breathed with you. Yeah. So know that you're sitting here with your calm presence. And may not feel too calm inside, but it matters to the room. The end. I'm so happy to be here. I hope you invite me back sometime.
Absolutely.
I love hearing what you're up to and yeah.
Well, like I said, we're hoping to make this a monthly occurrence and put it out maybe on the website or on the kids page or something.
So cool.
And you're always welcome to drop in. We're looking for more leaders to help with youth groups. So if anybody wants to.
What was my favorite thing at the church that I had was working with children and youth was because you don't talk at them, you talk with them and you listen, right? So
100%.
You're a high school teacher and then you talk at them.
That's exactly. I used to bring my chickens to church and incorporate them into my kids' messages.
Oh, wow.
Until one pooped on me. Right. It's like, it smelled so bad.
And that's why that's it.
Are we going to leave this out so you can finish it?
I think we'll do that and we'll take a picture of it. Any last minute thing, guys? Or?
What's the one thing that's brought you the most joy? To end it off.
That's a great question.
Oof. I think service.
Service.
I think divine presence in and through community. Absolutely. Yeah. But you have to have some balance. You have to take care of yourself if you're going to do that.
Exactly.
Right? So.
Exactly.
And the second would be my daughter. I mean, she might be my first, but sometimes she's like my 10th. Right?
Depends on the day, right?
It depends. Yes.
Well, Reverend Dell, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so
I
much.
can't think of a better way to start this podcast off.
All right, great.
Such a great guest.
Woohoo!
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
The pieces
All
that we
right.
made.
Well, that's been episode 1 of the GSP Youth Group Podcast.